Hey Flosstube, this is Emily C, Eclectic Possessions on Instagram, and I've been running around the house preparing, gathering stuff, and preparing to do my first video in a little over a month. I'm worn out. So, it's been a while since I filmed. Reason being, I told you it would be a while the last time I filmed because I was going to be traveling most of June, which I did, and then when I got back, and I'll go into more on what we did and where we went after in just a little bit, but we flew back in late Friday night towards the end of June, and then by Sunday night I got sick. First time officially testing positive during this entire thing. So, if you hear me still clearing my throat, pausing to cough, stopping to take a drink of water, and running around the house made me extremely short of breath and tired. I got sick on a Sunday night, and I was supposed to be back at work the next day after being out basically for a week for vacation and then half a week for a work thing. And I was out the whole week. And then we were off the next Monday and Tuesday for July 4th. So I was out that time as well. Hopefully this won't be recurrent. And yeah, I've only been back at work like 3 days, and I'm tired. It's a lot. It's a lot. I'm pretty sure I had it last year too. I never tested positive. I took home tests and even went to urgent care and got all kinds of medications and whatnot. I felt the same last year. Other than the fact that I lost my sense of smell this time for about half a week, it was the same. But anyway, I have so much to talk about. I have notes, so get ready. Something I'm going to try out this video that I have been noticing that a lot of the newer Flosstubers are doing, and I've always not done it because I don't love them, and they can sometimes be a little annoying. But I think I'm going to try mid-roll advertising. Give me your thoughts on it below. The reason I'm going to do it is the reading that I've done is that it can increase your YouTube revenue by up to 50%. If you just hit skip every now and then or just let it play through. Inflation, guys. Every bill that I have has increased. So money's tight at the Savaro house. So we're going to try mid-roll ads for a little bump in income. In fact, I'm going to be doing a no by July, and with the exception of one thing, I may move that into a no by August. And essentially what that means to me is if I don't absolutely need it, it's not something I need to keep my household running, to just something that I need, toiletries, cleaning supplies, all kinds of things. I'm not even counting, like if I run out of a thread, that doesn't count right now. So, no by July. And it has been effective so far because I have been like, you know what, I'd really like to have that. And then I hear myself say like to have and not need. And I just go, you know what, you don't need that. And I slap myself on the hand and I step back. Although it's going to be hard to notice the effects this first month because Jim and I just scheduled a trip in October, the cost of which are going to show up for where I purchased in June on my credit card bills. So that sucks. But It's a 10-year anniversary trip combined with almost a necessary family trip. There's a wedding. There's family pressure to go, because it could be the last time that we're all together under one roof ever again, potentially, which I love Jim's family. So I'm excited to go, but then again, I'm like, ooh, this is gonna be expensive. So that's happening. While I have been sick, I would like to give a shout out to a few Flosstubers who I have binge watched your creations, your videos, and you kept me sane for the week and a half that I slept and lived on this couch, because I didn't sleep in the bed with Jim because I didn't want to give him the plague. So there's four big ones. The Seattle Stitcher, Megan, kept me sane. Thank you. Introduced me to Cam the Stitcher. Definitely kept me sane. Love her stuff. In fact, she is responsible for one of the purchases, actually two of the purchases that are from June, before I decided to go no-buy. The New Hampshire Stitcher, Lauren, and I'll link all of these down below, so if you guys are unfamiliar with them, you can go and watch them. Lauren is responsible for my August purchase I plan on making outside, because if I still want it, I'm getting it in August outside of no-buy July, and it will be the only thing I am allowed in August. And I'll talk about that more in a little bit. And also Marjorie made. So those four, thank you so much for helping me through the plague. You have no idea how helpful you were. Before I get too far into things, I want to show you what I pulled out today. This is, I wanted to pull out something today that I could work on for the week. And the 13th is happening this week. So I wanted it to be a Halloween or darker piece. So I pulled out, I was also in the mood for some color. So I pulled out my Clouds Factory Haunted House. Those of you who have seen me work on this one before, you know that I pulled flosses from Stash completely because it's a rather extensive thread list. So I went through and pulled some of the funky fun colors that I might not use otherwise, that I had from thread clubs and that I've purchased here and there. And this is where I am so far. I just have done this little bit of work right here and right here today while I was stitching here at home. This is a fun piece to stitch on. I'm going to do a few edits on it, like taking out a few of the little cutesy characters, because I mean, Clouds Factory isn't 100% my style, but this house is rocking. It is pretty awesome. So we'll see how much progress I can get this week. While I have this out, I want to show you my current favorite minder, which is this Amityville house, which I bought from Mad for Minders. And I'm going to pair up with Avika from Mad for Minders again in this video for a giveaway. So you only had to make it 9 minutes in to know that there's going to be a giveaway that you can comment to enter down below. Of course, regular rules apply. Don't say giveaway or anything that could lead the trolls here where they're trying to win this instead of a legit Stitcher subscriber. Let's pause for a second. I'm maybe not 100% ready to be filming again, but we're here, we're doing it. So, Avika from Mad for Minders on Etsy, and I'll put a link to her store down below, is offering 2 free minders to whoever wins this contest. And all you have to do to enter is go to Etsy, favorite her shop, Mad for Minders, hit the little heart favoriting the shop where it shows up in your favorite shops list, and in a comment below just say my favorite minder is, and tell me what, just peruse through her shop, check out some things, see what there is there to offer. And she has much more than minders. She's got charts and fabrics and accessories and other goodies. So, and I want to say she has a fairly substantial sale section right now. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but go check that out. Show Avika some love and tell me what your favorite minder is in her shop. Like I said, this is my favorite minder from there right now. I bought this from her recently. In fact, she advertised it. She's on Instagram as well under Mad for Minders. And this showed up and I was like, Avika, take my money. You know I need an Amityville horror house. In fact, we were just, one of the trips that we took, okay, so for work I went to St. Louis, and I'll go into detail later talking about going to Color and Cotton and their new store and show you the haul I got from there. But I got back and I worked for a couple of days, and then me and Jim and my sister and my youngest niece, we all went to New Hampshire. That's where Jim's parents live in the summer. And like, we just spent time with them. We went to Salem, Massachusetts for a day, because my sister had never been. So we went and tooled around there. We went up into the White Mountains for a day and went to this like big resort up there that kind of reminds me of the hotel from The Shining. So that was pretty cool. But they live in this little town off of Lake Winnipesaukee called Laconia. And in between this other town called Tilton, so in between Tilton and Laconia, and I'm telling you this in case you live up there and you wanted to see it, there's this just random house on the side of the road that people live in. And on one side of it, it's got Amityville windows. And every time we're up there, and because we drive that stretch of road all of the time, going back and forth, and I'm just like, oh, one day I'll have a house with some Amityville windows. It's just so cool. Anyway, so I'm going to get lots of work on this week, hopefully. That's the plan. Gosh, I know I do not sound like myself. I sound terrible. It is what it is. Okay, so I got some work in on 7 sheep. I'm not done. In fact, I really need to get more done so that I can finish this in time to get it framed for our 10-year anniversary at the beginning of October. I want to gift this to Jim on October 3rd. This is where I am. And of course, in order to gift it to Jim, I've got to get it finished in time to get it framed. So I got a lot more done. You can see I got the swan in, I got a good portion of the tree done, and some other motifs and some more border work. But I mean, there's still work to be done. I'll get there. Slowly but surely. Back in here. Then after I worked on this, I knew I had travel. So I wanted to pull out a piece that was going to be a simple travel piece. And we all know when you're thinking about a simple travel piece, oftentimes either a larger count of fabric or something monochromatic or a lighter piece of fabric. So I went monochromatic. We're gonna pause again. In retrospect, I maybe should have taken a decongestant before filming this, but hindsight's 20/20, right? I am working on Crown and Thistle Quaker Seasons of Friendship. This is a gigantic Quaker where it's divided into 4 quadrants, and each of the 4 quadrants represents one of the seasons. I'm stitching this entirely in Classic Colorworks sticks and twigs. I probably have way too much of this. I'm stitching this on a piece of Picture This Plus Wren. I got a significant amount done because honestly, I really only had, excuse me, I'm so sorry. I really only had this little tiny piece here. This is a fun one. Stitching this with several friends. In fact, if you want to see the progress of everybody that I'm stitching it with, you can go to the hashtag on Instagram, Gotta Have Friends Sal. There's a lot of wonderful ladies working on it. I took this with me to St. Louis, and it also went with me to New Hampshire, although I really didn't get a lot of stitching done in New Hampshire. I got more done in St. Louis because I was in a hotel room by myself. And I also, while I did a little bit of sightseeing and went to some cool restaurants on my own, I always made sure I was back in the hotel by the time it got dark, because every time I met someone from the city or got in an Uber, they would go, "Welcome to St. Louis. Did you know that we have the second highest crime rate in the country?" I guess I look like someone who's naive and would just walk up to a stranger on the street and ask to be mugged. I don't know. So better safe than sorry. Having that knowledge, and I was aware of that before I even went to St. Louis. I went out in the daytime and was safe. Once I got back, one of the things that I worked on while I was sick is the 2020 Pandemic Sampler by Sarcy Girl. This is a chart that she put out for free in 2020 during the pandemic, and you can, I believe you can still get to this through her Instagram, Sarcy Girl, SARCYGURL. I'm doing this on a piece of fabric that I over-dyed myself. I have no idea how to replicate it, so apologies, but it really turned out cool. It's kind of a green gray. I got a little bit of border work done. I got that black bird in, the owl, and pretty much that entire house. I'm calling that house the house that COVID built, because it was just easy fill stitching in between naps on the couch. So it was a really fitting piece to work on that week, as I was near death. I mean, I wasn't near death, but you just feel bad. You feel bad and you have no energy, and your body just wants you to sleep. That's all it wants. And like, I stayed sweaty. I remember waking up one night and just, I was just wet. No, everyone wanted to know that. This, well, for starters, this bag is a gift that I received since my last video. It's really nice, and it is from, hold on, I've got a little card in here. This is from Jennifer, and she is, oh, I wrote it on the back, Raven's Roost Stitchery on Etsy. So she's selling bags on there, and she had reached out to me and she was like, "Hey, I've got this fabric that I bought to make bags with, and it just makes me think of you, so I would like to gift you one." And yeah, I love orange and green, as is going to be apparent in my next whip that I show you. So I love this, and it's got this really, really pretty zipper pull. But what I have in here, I was 100% a victim of FOMO on this one. A bunch of my friends, Laura and Megan and Olivia, were stitching this carriage house piece, Enchanted. Because Olivia carries this in her shop, Hillside Rookery. And you're like, well, that's not that bad. I got the silks. Me, who doesn't like silks, got the silks because Olivia offers a silks thread pack. So I got these NPI silks from her to stitch it in the silks, just like my friends. I pulled a piece of fabric from Stash and only did like a couple of days on this, so I don't have that much done. Olivia's already finished hers. But this is where I got. I absolutely love this. Except, surprise, surprise, I still don't like silks. I don't like stitching with them. I know, I'm the weirdo. I'm the drama. I am a cuticle chewer. Like, I have a lot of anxiety. I chew on my cuticles. I also do this weird thing that Jim yells at me about that I'm going to share with you guys because no shame. I pull at my eyebrows. Like, if I get really anxious, like, I'll pull some of the hair out of my eyebrows and I don't even realize I'm doing it. I know, weird, but full disclosure. So it has nothing to do with silks. But because of that gets stuck on my cuticle, so I don't like that about silks. But also, I realized when stitching with them this time, I don't like that they're kind of springy. Like, silk has some, like, give to it. Cotton is a solid, sturdy thread. And I like that because that helps me maintain the tension that I'm used to. So when I move to a silk and it has that give to it, I almost don't know what to do with myself. And I think that's one of the reasons that I don't like them. And I've stitched with lots of different kinds of silks. I have worked on a chatelaine with lots of different silks. I've bought a variety of silks to work on one piece where I just use a conglomerate of all kinds of stuff. And I have a couple of other pieces kitted with silks. I just don't like them. And if I like cottons more, I'm not going to spend the money on silks. Next thing, I became kind of obsessed with this. Kim Parda, for Duck Derby last year in 2022, chose as her prize a color conversion of any chart that she wanted that I would do for her. So she picked this piece, which is cool because I also wanted to color convert this piece. Hannah Lancaster. This was put out previously by the Porcupine Collection, and I have the old chart as well. But it's like one of those old road maps that you had way before GPS and MapQuest, where you unfold it, and then you unfold it, and then you unfold it, and you can't see through the windshield because you have so much map unfolded. That's the way the old Hannah Lancaster chart is. I hate it. It's terrible. Hey, buddy, you want to come up here? Come on. Yeah. Yeah, people want to see you. Meow. Tell them. Meow. Buster's old now, and he's gotten skinny. Yeah, we've gotten skinny. But he's precious. So, McKenna from 1884 Stitchery re-released this. Go buy hers. Right, buddy? So, go to 1884stitchery.com, buy a copy of Hannah Lancaster, either digital or paper, and it's really well done. So, I'm super happy for that. And I came up with I asked Kim what color she wanted, and she was like, well, if I knew what colors I wanted, I wouldn't ask you to do a color conversion, which I get. She made me laugh. I said, well, what's your favorite color? And she said, I really like blue. So I made sure, there were already some blues in there, but I made sure that I made blue a little bit more of a predominant color. Like the girl's dress is going to be blue. But instead of browns, I took it to where it's a lot more oranges and orangey reds. So it feels like kind of a more of a fallish piece than just a dull brown. And then the house is going to be this color. The roof of the house is going to be kind of a darker color. It's gonna be a little bit more exciting, but not too jus. I'm doing this on a piece of Victorian Motto fabric. They don't dye fabric anymore. And Victorian Motto shadows. But with my color conversion, this is where I am. I'm gonna see what that looks like. So that's the whole first half. And then the corner literally is right here. So this goes up and around and comes back down again. I'm digging it. And then I'm going to stitch the block in where the text goes because it kind of outlines that. And I'm going to chart a new verse for this as well. Something that isn't religious, because this one has the, in my opinion, way overused in samplers, Jesus permits verse. Even if I was a religious person, that one's just used way too much. But, so there's that. Really excited to get more done on that. Maybe later this year, maybe pull it back out in sampler September. I have the conversion on that typed up. I've just got to get it into my Google Docs officially, and I will try at some point, today is Sunday, at some point this week to get that link down below where you can access it. People have often asked me about compensation for things like the conversions that I do, that I offer up for free. I offer them for free. I'm not asking for money for them. But I did put, because people have asked to give me some kind of compensation for doing that work, I did put a link to my Venmo and my linktree in my Instagram. If anybody wanted to like send me money to buy a coffee one morning or something. I tried the buy me a coffee thing, and it should not be as complicated as it is. I cannot figure out how to get money out of it. And I have messed with it and linked my bank account. I don't know. It's smarter than I am. This 40-something-year-old can't figure it out. And I've even tried to have Jim to figure it out, and he's like, I don't know. So there's that. This is not, that's all of my whips that I worked on. This is where I went to Coloring Cotton and used their threads to do a conversion for this. This is Ellen Harrison 1889. I'm going to do this with Laura from Brendan the Serial Stitcher and Megan from the Wide-Eyed Stitcher. So I basically, when I went to Coloring Cotton, I had the DMC with me, which I do not think is a good match for the silks that are here. I just don't. So I took this cover and I took it with me and walked along the glorious color wall at Coloring Cotton, and I pulled these. So before I left, Angela at Coloring Cotton took a picture of these. If anybody else wants to call Coloring Cotton, sorry, if anybody else wants to call Color and Cotton and get the same conversion, hold on. I just want to be well again. I just want to feel 100% like myself. But you can't force it. I slept Friday night for like 9 hours. And then yesterday I took a 2-hour nap. That's ridiculous. But one of my, you guys know I work for CASA, and one of my volunteers and friends, who's kind of like a local mom to me, I let her know when I got back that I wasn't coming right back to work and that I was sick. And she said, okay, I'm going to tell you one thing. Listen to your body. If your body says I'm tired, go to sleep, because it requires it to get over this. You know what? She was right. Every time I have thought that I'm tired, except for those last 3 days when I was back at work, I just went to sleep. And my body was very thankful. But anyway, so I pulled these colors. I love the blues and reds for this. One of the things that I was really unhappy with the DMC is I really felt like this grass needed to be more variegated. So the one that I chose, this is Color and Cotton Cloves. And while it may not look really variegated on the screen, it's like exactly like what you see on here. So Angela has this conversion. If you call Color and Cotton, she can kit this up for you and send it to you. And you should also get some of her fabrics because they're phenomenal. In fact, let's move on to showing you the way too much fabric that I bought there. No by July, guys. No by July. This was a color she had a lot of. And of course, it's been about a month since I was there. But this is Color and Cotton Beethoven. I had her cut me a fat half of this. It is just a beautiful, like, honey brown. So pretty. When you're in their store, they have also a lot of what they have as limited edition fabrics. I don't know if these are off dyes or if these were monthly fabrics that they had extra of, but I also got this fat half of this limited edition. It doesn't have a name, and it's just like, it's just not showing up as great as it is, but it's so nice. I love the way that she tags things too. Like, this is, I think this one I bought to stitch something on specifically. Emily Greenaway by Hats. It's a nice mottled goldish color. And this, it was a limited edition fabric. So I bought this for Emily Greenaway. I can put it in the bag with it to start now. This is another limited edition. It's just like, kind of like sand dune, lakeside sand dune. Very pretty. The last one that I got is not a limited edition. This is 36 count woodland. And it is just a nice gray. This is a neutral if you want kind of a lighter medium gray to stitch things on. Color and Cotton Woodland. It might have a bit of a green hue to it. It's lovely. Speaking of grays, I bought some grays while I was there. Let me separate these out a little. I bought, these were what I felt were more true grays that she had on her wall. So this is Color and Cotton Thimble. Color and Cotton Nickel. Color and Cotton iron and color and cotton paving stones. Show these all together. Like, they're just really nice grays. So now I can put those other things in my stash. These are honestly colors that as I was walking her wall, I was like, that's pretty. So this is Open Fire, Coffee Bean, and Juniper. Really pretty. These I've got separate because they may go with this next piece of haul. I need to look back at my list and make sure I'm not forgetting to tell you guys something. This is Seaweed, Paisley, Lava Stone, and Creeping Vines. Let's move this to the side. Let's see. Oh, another thing I was going to say. If you want to get this kitted up and start it with us, we have not set a start date yet. So if you want to call Color and Cotton and get the threads, this is, it's supposed to be on a piece of Picture This Plus Ale. That's what I have pulled and put in there. I'm not 100% sold on it. I may lighten it up just a little because I feel like my piece is darker than, I don't know. We'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. But if you want to start this with us, we will start this probably later this year. We haven't, nothing set. So get it kitted up, get ready, and it will be our BADSAL. Big Ass Deer Sal. Because apparently that's what Vicky nicknamed this when she was charting it. So that's a big ass deer. Love me some Vicky. She's so nice. So nice. Hey buddy. Look at this cuteness. Look at this. Look at this buddy. Yeah. Good job, buddy. You guys know you all do that to your cats too. Sweet boy. Okay. I love him so much. Cam the Stitcher made me buy this. I remember looking at this chart when it came out at market and thinking, I do like that. It's really cute, but it's just kind of blah. Well, Cam did a conversion and turned this into the Goth Vanity Sampler. Go check out that hashtag. Go look at her videos. So I'm not going to use the Goth Vanity Sampler tag when I'm doing it because Kimmy basically inspired me to go further with it and take it a direction that I want it to go. Which means, hold please, I have not figured this out in any way, shape, form, or fashion. So let me go there. This is where my head is at. I'm obviously not going to use all of these colors, but to me, I'm going to drop some, but to me, a witchy goth sampler is purples and teals and lime greens and grays. And it's on a piece of Weeks Dye Works gray. So some of these colors not all of these on here for this. I'm dropping stuff. So I'm gonna work on this and get this figured out, like what I want it to be, which colors are the right choices, and I'll get back to you. And look at that. That's nice. That's gonna be cool. So I'll just use the regular Vanity Sampler Sal hashtag and figure that out, and I'll share this once I get it done. I'm putting this in a vintage owl lady bag just because the birds and stuff are a little itchy. So that's happening. Some other things that I bought. I may have already shown this. I don't remember. I picked up this copy of Kathy Barrick's Wildflowers from Hillside Rookery. I needed this in the stash. I also was enabled by Cam the Stitcher to pick a copy of this up from 123 Stitch while they still have it. She stitched this and it just looks so much prettier stitched, and it's just quirky and cute. And if I ever decide I want to stitch it, I have it. Going through the new charts available, I missed this one. This is Shakespeare's Peddlers Painted Flowers. It's kitted mainly in DMC, and it's just really cool. So there's that. Color and Cotton was amazing. If you're anywhere near St. Louis, you need to go and show Angela some love. So many beautiful fabrics and threads. It's so nice to be able to see her colors in person. She has some mist dyes and oops that you can get like large hanks or half hanks of. And I almost wish I would have gotten one of those too, but I don't need it. So go and check that out if you can. I bought a couple of vintage pieces because I think you guys know I was redoing my dining room, and the only thing left really is to get my artwork up, and I'm looking for some vintage brass candlesticks to put as like a centerpiece on my table, which are apparently hard to find. So I'm looking for vintage brass candlesticks, but for not a ridiculous amount. But I grabbed this vintage piece of needlework. I just really liked the colors and the composition. I thought it was really nice. I thought the frame was pretty. It's older. This one I love. The frame is so chunky. This is an old needlework needlepoint as well. Feels really 70s. See if I can get it where there's no glare. No, not gonna happen because of all my windows. Orange, purple, love it. It's so cool. So this is gonna go up in my dining room. It's an old Royal Paris canvas. Sweet boy. Yes, mama's sweet boy. Something else that I've been enabled. I mentioned earlier that the New Hampshire Stitcher has enabled what's probably going to be my only purchase in August. On September 1st, she is hosting the BAP to School Sale. BAP to School Sale. As we all know, and if you don't, BAP stands for Big Ass Project. It's those gigantic projects that you have that are just big. So her rationale for this is, as adults, we don't necessarily get to go and buy fresh pencils and pencil boxes and notebooks and all of those back to school things that used to be so fun when we were younger. I mean, you can, but you know. So pick out a gigantic project, kit it up with new things or unused things, untouched things, and pet them and love them and prepare them for September 1st for the back to school sale. One thing that really makes me want to do this is September 1st is also my Flosstube anniversary. I will have been doing Flosstube for 8 years, September 1st, 2023. So I looked at some things that I already have, and as I was digging through what's new online as well, I ran across this sampler. I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, this is a Jane Moore sampler from the early 1800s. Should still be pictured here. And it's huge. It's 300 by 400 stitches. If that's not a BAP, I don't know what is. And you can kit it in DMC. It's something that it appears to be a newer release from the Scarlet Letter, but it's also one that's already been picked up by 123 Stitch and several of the other online stores because it's awesome. Did you see these animals? Including the mythical animal that I'll let you read about online all by yourself. Yeah. Mama's got to do this. So I will get this kitted up. I have a brand new fresh project bag upstairs waiting for it. I've got to dig through my stash and find a fresh piece of fabric to put it on. It's big, so it's got to be something I have a fat half of. Maybe one of these newer ones from Coloring Cotton that I bought a fat half of. Maybe that Beethoven. Ooh, that would be nice. So, yeah. So you've got the remainder of July and all of August to figure out what BAP you might want to start with this on September 1st. So there's that. A few other things I wanted to say before I let you guys go, and I've got to actually leave and head over to my brother and sister-in-law's house for family dinner. Plants. My plants have not fared well this summer. I mean, they're fine. My plants are fine for the most part. But there are a group that keep getting pests, and me being out of town and sick is not helping because I can't deal with it effectively. In my plant cabinet in the dining room, I have had in the past month or two mealybugs, thrips, and spider mites. And then I have a fuzzy petiole that sits in here kind of off to itself, thank God, that I think came with thrips and they weren't big enough for me to see when I bought it. I've not been able to get rid of them. And I'm about ready to just set it on the curb. Yeah, I'm over it. It may just get put out on the porch and sprayed, and if it lives, it lives. Good luck, buddy. So yeah, I talked about No by July. I do want to show you guys a couple of things that I bought. I bought several souvenirs while I was in New Hampshire and Massachusetts. But one of the things that I bought, this has got water in it where I washed it out. One of the things that I bought was this mug while I was in Salem. This is a Memento Mori mug by the Unemployed Philosophers Guild. They make a lot of different mugs. I loved this one. And, sorry, one of the things that I really like about it is there's more inside. So I figured out that this is actually available on Amazon. So I love it, and I figured you guys would love it. So I'm also going to put a link below to my Amazon storefront where I have this mug under my oddities listing. So it's the same price in there that I paid for it at this souvenir shop in Salem. and you can have a matching awesome dark mug. It's a good one. Something else that I've added to my Amazon storefront lately is this nail polish that I'm wearing. Sally Hansen, and I looked this up to make sure that they weren't just like jumping on the Pride train but not really giving back. They actually partner with GLAAD for this and give their profits to them. So Sally Hansen does every year a set of Pride polishes, and I put this one, which is Espresso Yourself, and several of my other favorites in my Amazon storefront as well, and it's just really pretty. I really like it. It's like an orangey bronze brown. What do you think, buddy? So there's that. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna try to get this edited together and hopefully uploaded before I have to leave. And I will, don't forget to go to Mad for Minders, favorite the shop, figure out which minder and the tons that she has is your favorite. Comment down below my favorite minder is and tell me which one. And then hopefully I'll be back in 2 weeks and I'll pull a winner then and give that information to Avika over at Mad for Minders. But in the meantime, you know, she has so many awesome ones. Go make a purchase. Go show her some love and support, because we want her shop to stick around, because she makes the best minders out there. And I'm not just saying that. She's the only person I buy minders from anymore, because they're the best. See you guys in 2 weeks. Thanks for supporting me and sticking with me, even though it's been forever since I filmed, and even though I keep having to pause because I still have plague remnants. Love you guys and see you next time.